Once upon a time, there was a good old traditional housewife. She cooked, she cleaned, cared for her children and the man of the house, and of course, she didn't talk back. She was both obedient and soft by nature. She was a good woman who always made good choices.
Shut that shit off.
We're good moms, bad choices.
Two single moms
Who said fuck the patriarchy
shared all their bad choices
and found out they weren't so bad after all.
We're experts,
overshares,
and your new besties.
sit back and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices. I'm Erica.
And I'm Jamila.
And it's Wednesday, motherfuckers.
Happy motherfucking hump day.
Bitches.
You're with your girls on hump day, per the usual. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. We really hope you're doing some humping today, because if you're not, what the fuck are you doing? Have you done some humping?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I have. This is not hump related. But if you haven't had a moment to check out our retreat, the Good Vibe Retreat, I want to encourage you. We are going to Costa Rica. It is approaching quickly. So if you've been thinking about it, stop thinking about it and put down your motherfucking deposit so that it doesn't overwhelm you, and come join your two favorite moms / wild free women in Costa Rica on July 24th through the 29th. It's an all-inclusive experience. It's going to be bomb. We've already taken like 400 women out of the country. We got 5-star reviews, y'all. 5.
We does this.
Not to be confused with 4.5.
I'm
Okay?
going to go ahead and say we're experts at this shit.
We are. What do you mean? We have thousands and thousands of hours.
We're approaching our 20th retreat in Jamaica on 420. Our numerology is always numerologying.
Except just by accident, but
Every
also by
time.
divine numerology.
Divine alignment, divine number alignment. You know, the girls are always doing it. So, yes, we're retreat leader experts, and we are here to heal you. So come
and have fun,
because there's fun. There's healing in the fun.
Wait, I had a call with one girl who was considering coming, and she's like, "So, are we gonna be like crying and shit? Because like I don't really have time for that."
Do you know how many of my friends literally told me they're not coming because they don't want to be crying? And
she's like, "I don't want to be crying and shit," and I was like. She's like, because I be crying, and I don't really. I'm not. Sounds like I was like, well, bitch, it sounds like you might just cry just because you be crying. I can't really control if you cry, but I just want to say that you might cry, but out of joy and release and spaciousness. But one thing about after the crying, we always, balance that out with a lot of fun, a lot of just fun shit. So just come. Click the link in this episode description and check out the Good Vibe Retreat. Join us, come through, and expand your travel horizons, because the U.S. is ghetto as fuck. So we need to get the fuck out of here while we can, because I don't even know where we're going to be at.
Don't scare the people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just come on vacation. Step 1, just come on vacation.
Anyway, it's spring, you guys. And in the spirit of spring, I want to encourage all of us to, plant new seeds and expand our minds. And, we have a lot of female guests on the show that offer that type of knowledge. Yeah. And so today I'm really excited because we have a man on the show.
For the second time.
Yeah, not just any man.
This is an OG man. This is a man that we wanted back. A divine masculine man.
Yes. And, y'all fucking loved his episode and the clips because he was lit. Okay.
Pastor. Reverend. Man of God.
I was just so excited to welcome back to the show best-selling author, award-winning holistic educator, recording artist, lifelong vegan. Oh, God, teach me your ways. Combat veteran and wellness warrior minister, SupaNova Slom.
Peace, sisters.
SupaNova Slom.
Salute.
Welcome back to the show.
Oh, it's an honor to be here with my sisters. Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you. Thank you for coming back and gracing
me.
us with your presence.
Good mom. Salute.
Yeah.
How y'all been?
We're good.
Yeah.
Blessed.
Has it been a year or 2 years?
Two.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. Because I was in Glendale at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 years. Yeah.
I know, because when I hit you, you're like, how about in a month? I was like, he must not live here. Why is he got to come so long away? I was like, 4 weeks. God damn.
Yeah, just moving in and out. So I was more stable to this time. Yeah.
I'm grateful that you penciled us in.
Absolutely.
You're a friend of the show, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you, beloved. Peace.
I don't know if you know this, or maybe you do, but when I was in my last relationship with my alcoholic boyfriend, I made him join your program.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. You fucking girl. I forgot.
I made him join Man Heal Thyself program because I was like,
he was fucking up.
I was like, you need guidance that I cannot give you. You need male guidance. You need like mentorship, and you need someone that like. Cause I was like, yeah, you just go see Supa Nova, please.
Didn't he like stay for a few, like?
He did. He had like he was there trying to prove that he was gonna be a good man to me. Okay. For like maybe 3 weeks. Okay, I don't know. Okay. I know he was talking to like he had a. Do you guys usually assign a mentor or like you like group people up or something like that? So I remember him talking to someone and like he enjoyed it. He didn't finish it because he probably like blacked out at the bar or something. I don't know. Forgot about it. But I don't think I ever shared that with you, or if you ever knew that.
Wow.
I forgot about that because you're like, he's going to join Man Heal Thyself. I was like, okay,
yeah, this is going to be it. Okay, he's going to be a good man.
He's going to get saved by SupaNova Slom.
I was. Man, all open arms to get him squared away. What happened?
You got to be ready.
I don't know.
That's the key, and that's it. That's it. Like the call is for. I think just the state of the world, where the masculine is leading in the state of the world. The only call that I think for men of all ilks is to go within. We have never had that.
I think they're scared to go within. Well, there's a lot of fear.
And I carried it out to say what you say, Miller, about being ready. Mm-hmm. Right, like when a man's really ready, when he's sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when things align. And until he's really sick and tired of being sick and tired, then the sickness becomes his identity, and then he operates from there. Then his relationships reflect the sickness. He's not well, right? And so that he brings that not wellness behavior to his women, and to his children, into the society, right? And so, that's that. I'm just, no matter how grim it may look in these days and times, I'm just so excited for the possibility for more and more men begin their journey within and just look around and move some things around and pay attention to some things that you have not been paying attention to, and that I know that when a man has his time to do that internal work, he can represent himself to his relationships in a more powerful, expansive way. Sometimes men just need to take a pause. We think we carry a lot, we're not articulate, and because of that frustration, we tend to implode in ourselves and implode in our loved ones.
I was literally just thinking about this, like looking at comments and scrolling, because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, are we going to, like the war of the sexes is so deep. And I was just seeing, it's just so evident how wounded and hurt men are. I mean, and women too, like we've hurt each other a lot. And I was like, are we ever going to find a happy medium, because it's just so much pain in the way. Yeah. And for those of you who are, just joining us or haven't heard of SupaNova Slom or heard his first episode here, I encourage you to go listen to it. But also, he is raised by a divine mother, the Queen of Fua, and he wrote a book, Man Heal Thyself, which is all about men healing themselves. And I think that is a foreign concept, unfortunately, for a lot of Black women, that to experience men who have taken the time to heal themselves and to take the pause and to recognize. You ever had a show before?
It's my man. Sorry. Hold on.
Don't be answering the phone. You would think she would. You've done this before. It's only year 8.
My bad.
We're only on year 8. Okay.
It's real life. Okay.
Put the phone on silent.
It was an emergency. Okay.
But yeah, I was just thinking about men and their pain. And I just realized, just experiencing the few men or our friends who have husbands or boyfriends, and I just see, like you said, they lack the skills to communicate, and they've never been given like the opportunity. So it's almost like they don't even have the words. They don't even know where to begin. Yeah. And it feels sad. I feel sad for men, and I'm just, I was just like, that pain. When you operate from pain, and that is your identity. Yeah. It literally poisons the well of your family, of society, of yourself.
Look at the world. I mean, all the leadership, all the men, being a man, inspiring to be like other men of influence and power, and you look at how they are conducting themselves. Ultimately, is a result of the identity of that pain, and we tend to think pain is only allotted to people maybe in a lower level class or suffering. But we see that is universal. You know, the higher you go into the aspirational realms, people are even more in pain. You say, "What? I thought I was going to escape the poverty and pain, and I'm getting to the abundance, and the pain is still here, right?" And so, that's the only thing that we think about men have not been able to really do is take that pause and take that inventory, like fully. You know, I remember when I came back from Afghanistan back to my state base of station, and the sergeant major of the Army had us all in formation and said, "Hey, you know, your experience after a year being in war, you're gonna be hyped up. You're gonna be feel like you're superhuman because you survived, that, and you lost quite a few people in that survival. So you're gonna be going to all types of things." So he said, we just put a lot of funding in this place where you have support of talking to people, through just whatever you may have been going through, so you don't have to bring that to your family and bring it home. So he was trying to give us tools to go ahead and talk to somebody. We just built this big facility. And it hit me. I said, yeah, I'd never experienced something like this. I definitely need to have some conversations, right? So I was looking forward to it. Came back to my company formation, which is smaller. And then the commander of the company formation is like, we heard the sergeant major, go get help, go speak to somebody, but you're not no pussy. You're from the infantry.
Oh.
Right? So that's man. That's the alpha man in presentation, right? Because there's more to the alpha man than what's presented. But that was the atmosphere, and that's the warrior side of the alpha man, right? So the leadership is saying, "Hey, yeah, we heard the bigger leadership say y'all go get help, but y'all stronger than that. Y'all resilient. Keep going, right?" Me and another battle buddy were the only ones that went to that center to just talk and just to get some treatment. It's for the treatment meaning just to have a conversation, right? 98% of the men that I served with, none of them went.
Have you seen, if you have relationships with any of those men now, have you seen how not going to the facility has affected their lives?
Well, since from that time, that I was active duty, 10 of my battle buddies have committed suicide.
Oh, 10?
10.
Not saying the same shit.
But it's combat guys, right? So it takes a strong, powerful woman to be able to walk with you in that walk. I'm real grateful for my ex-wife. She's a powerful, resilient woman. Because going through that experience and then not having the feminine support to really, get some understanding of what you may need to support you back into her realm, that's hard. That's a hard transition, So, yeah, about 10 of them. 10 battle buddies gone, and drugs, other guys. Now, there's a few of them who are successful, who have done what I did, I looked for the resources.
Transmuted with your experience.
And I came into the experience as me anyway. Right. So I'm bringing a lot of that energy there and then learning some things and balancing. But this is why I'm excited, sisters, about just being of service to men and supporting them regardless of what their occupation may be or what way of life they may be at. Just principles of empowerment so they can take that tactical pause and work on themselves in a way where they can represent themselves to themselves first and then to their relations. And when we look at the state of what man is putting the planet through, that's the only thing that is necessary, because the women and the children are being decimated by the choices of the collective man. Pain. Right. And this is not, and I'm coming from a man that has my own journey of pain that I had to address and work through. That's why I have a space to want to facilitate it for other men too, and the pride of not knowing. You don't have to always know. It's okay not to know, right? But the fact that as soon as you just get out the ego, I do not know, then a possibility opens up for you to know, and back to what you were saying earlier about the women and the men in the war. We're just in pain. We're products of the pain. I mean, think about it. Like, we're here right now. I'm here with my sisters. I love this show. I love the platform. love the audience. And we are figuring out how to keep the discussion going, the various discussions going, and the hearts going, and the possibilities growing and going in the midst of this chaos that we're literally going. Like, it's like we have these ebb and flows. We have these crescendos, and then we kind of have a moment of 2 or 3 weeks, and we're just flowing, and then it's back.
Right.
The nervous system of us as a collective.
It's a lot.
We're going through it, and so I say that to say, not to make it too heavy, but just to say I'm so grateful to always talk to my sisters, because we really need each other in these discussions as much as possible. And I want brothers and sisters to take these discussions very serious, and the fact that y'all are offering in the midst of everything that's happening in the world, additional support for sisters to go on a healing retreat. Mm-hmm. Sisters, you need to sign up. Like just think of the sign of the times that we're living in. Like, you need every pocket of joy you can possibly experience in yourself and around others. It's called glimmers. You get these little sparks of joy, right? And I collect them daily, because if I don't collect them, the weight of just observing everything, right? The state can just have you. It wants you to enroll yourself in that chaos.
Right.
So every day I'm like, how many glimmers am I going to catch today?
I love that.
Like God may send me, I may be in my phone, right? And then an email notification come up, and that may be a glimmer. Like, whoa, wow, I was looking for that, right? Or somebody may send you a text, or you just may be scrolling, and if I like animal clips, for example, right? I like little bunnies and stuff, right? It keeps me. So I just made me seeing all the war stuff, and I just see a little bunny do a little hop, flip, jump, and a spin, and it just those little pockets. If you do not open yourself up to receive them, the call of the family member, the friends, the miscommunication with the spouse or the loved one, the world, it can really put you in that other space. Mm-hmm. So it's a practice daily to find your light, find your glimmers, find the little things that joys, right? And that's what I would want to talk to the heart chakra, to the brothers and sisters who are just in pain with each other. All right? We're in pain. She has a list of stuff. You have a list of stuff. Can we have a love tactical pause? Can we hit what Luther said, stop to love? Can you stop to love? Mm-hmm. We don't even take a pause.
Yeah, can you pause your suffering?
I like you, you like me. Okay, can we slow it? Do a slow dance with your relationship. When the last time you did a slow dance? I'm talking about slow it down, right? Really bring it back to that place where you can just investigate and inquire and ask and not assume, right? Men, we have this thing, we have this laundry list, right? But the thing about the men is that we always want to look past it, but the ego, the man is going past. Do I look past this to see someone I can invest in and interact with, or the ego? I'm going to look at the list of what, right? Or when we go to the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. So by the time we actually, it's like we lose the magic of the fact that we actually magnetize to each other. Well, you doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. But wait, y'all actually, me and sis was talking earlier about red flags. If you get to a place where you ain't got no red flags and the courtship is good and the flow is good, then if you have any difficulty, the next thing I would say to do before you give up on each other or play the blame point game, expand. Let's try something that we didn't try before. What have we not used? We've been talking back and forth together. That ain't working. We've been trying to, so let's try something else, something fun, something that may be exposing us, but something that gives us a tactical pause from the other areas that may have allowed us not to have communication. What that does is you give yourself that time to explore another version of the relationship or the communication. By the time you circle back, you have such appreciation. You say, wow, I miss hearing you. I miss you say, you start to hear someone a little different because you appreciate them. Yeah.
I was going to say, you said so many beautiful things, and I want to address a few different things that you touched on, and it will lead us back to that and the openness in which people have to have in order to even allow the expansion, right? And be able to like try new tools and try those things. And it's funny because yesterday I went and took myself on a date, and I had dinner, and I ended up sitting at a bar, and I knew the bartender. I realized I'd known him. I had met him years ago. I had met him before he was a father, and him and his partner, I remember so vividly asking me all these questions about motherhood. Like, what did, and this is before they had a kid. And then now they have a kid. They're no longer together. Like, a lot has happened since I've seen this person. And I was telling him about my retreats, and he was like, "Oh, can I go?" And I was like, "Well, they're women's retreats, and we do couples." But he's like, "Well, I'm single," and I'm like, "He's like, you should do a co-ed one." I'm like, "Okay, we'll think about it." And I was like, "Well, there are men's retreats,"
Right.
and he was like, "Well, which ones?" And then I couldn't think of anyone. I should have shown him yours. Then one came to mind. It was this one that it's like a pretty big, large men's retreat. I was like, I can't vouch for them. I just see them on the internet a lot. They seem like they're doing some work over there.
Right.
And I showed it to him. He's like, "Fuck that. That looks weird." And I was like, okay.
If that's the one I think that you're talking about.
And he was like, "Yours was better." And I was like, "Mine is similar." Like I'm like, you're not going to avoid the healing part. Like there's going to be moments where like you have to confront parts of yourself, and you don't get to skip that part. So, and he was like, "What do men do on healing retreats?" And I was like, "I don't know, man shit." I was like, "I don't know, chop wood."
Yeah, well, it's so
Not chop.
No, well, I was just trying to tell. And so anyway, he was so avoidant of it. And I was like, this might not be the one for you, but there are spaces like this. And the guy, there was his like bar back was like, "Yeah, men have feelings too. We need spaces too." And I was like, absolutely. You do. And I was like, "When was the last time you like looked in your brother's eyes and just for 60 seconds?" And I was like, "Do it now." And they were like, "What?"
At the bar.
Yeah. They were like, "What? I could do it. I could do it."
Not me. You gotta challenge him. Do it. I dare you.
I was like, "Come on, let's do it." And he was like, "We have conversations. We have deep talks." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Do you talk to me about fatherhood and the struggles that you're facing as a father who, you know, is no longer with the mother and and not co-parenting well?" Because these are the things that he had shared with me. Yeah. And he was just like avoiding it. And I was like, I brought back like, "Okay, guys, come on." And they were like, "Oh, I gotta run to the table," and da da da. And I just stopped, and I was like, "Okay, like you're not that you're not ready. I'm not the facilitator of this experience.
Maybe not at the bar during their work shift.
I mean,
and they're not going to do it either way. But yeah,
she planted the seed.
I mean, maybe not.
Now they're gonna remember. Damn, I was so uncomfortable to do this one thing. Why? What was uncomfortable?
Was
yeah,
she planted the seed.
Yeah, maybe not at the bar, maybe not at the work shift, but I mean, whatever.
Do we need to lead it like a co-ed retreat?
Maybe. But it just made me think about how avoidant men are from these spaces. And like I would imagine like men avoid your space too. Like we'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll get to it. What are y'all doing over there?" You know?
Was he black? A black man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how you don't have to go to war to come. Like there's just being black in America is traumatic. Is traumatic enough, right? Yeah. Like, and so. And saying like you don't have to go to war to be traumatic, to have trauma and come back to your woman, right? Who, you said your ex-wife held really beautiful space for you,
absolutely,
and helped you kind of integrate back into the world, essentially. Yeah. And I'm just curious because we were talking about this out there, just around holding space, women holding space for men. Like I'm curious, like in what way, maybe did she hold space for you, or like how? Maybe you can answer that. And then also like how as women do we become better at that? Because I think as women, we think that we just show up and being in our feminine and just being a feminine woman, like we automatically, like our presence is healing. And it's like, no, actually our presence can be traumatic as well. We can say the wrong thing. We can like actually not be supportive in the way that they actually need. Yeah. And I'm just curious, like, what are ways in which like a woman has held space for you that has benefited you? Okay, so,
sitting me down, like, just what one thing that she would do, the ex-wife, around when I was coming out after coming back from combat, she would intentionally, have us sit down and she would just check in with you. You like how your emotional state, how you feeling, how you processing things. And, men, we don't necessarily have our women really say that to us, so it's like, oh, wow, you actually, She said, "No, I want to know, like, what are you feeling? What have you been feeling? Like, what's going on?" Like, and she would do it in an objective way, right? So that's very key, right? It's like, because a man is thinking, like, what's your angle here? You asking me these things,
And it was just
right?
there's no angle yet.
Because again, like, we go.
How do we remain objective? Maybe that's not my strong suit.
Okay. No. Well, so I'm going to show you that. So the man's trying to figure out, like, are you asking because you really want to know, or is this me sharing with you is going to come back and bite me later on in our argument, or we right?
I hear that a lot.
Right. So she just, the way she did it was just like, she seemed like she genuinely was interested in my mental state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it allowed me just to share. Okay, yeah, man, today work, this happened at training, this was going on here. And home, even, me and you. So she just, even when I would bring it up, and so when I would bring her up in the update, and what was a new thing, it was like accountability. She'd be like, I see where I did this and that and that and that. I was like, you owning up to that? What? This is accountable. Like, so not only am I able to share with you some of the things that I'm going through internally, I highlight maybe a couple of things that are not on point with me and you. She owns her side, clarifies it, apologizes, allows me to be like, whatever ego I had, you know what?
Kind of melts away.
And so now we have this new space where now I'm showing up, apologizing and saying, yeah, I could have showed up better in that, right? So just having those times, every so often where we sat down and just that check base, that's how I was appreciative of her holding space, because it allowed me to just be transparent. And as a man, all this is built up, but I'm no less of a man if I can communicate effectively my feelings. Like, this is what's messing with me, right? And then your partner's receiving it and not feeling attacked. Just listening to you say, you know what, and giving you some insight around that you didn't see, but also maybe identifying themselves and owning up some stuff. So it becomes like an ownership dance.
So there's accountability is important.
But
finding a place where you can maybe express where maybe you haven't been supportive in what you've chosen to share,
right? So
that now your partner feels seen.
Yes.
Even, like, as women, do we even have to lie a little bit? Like,
listen,
you know what? I take accountability, even if
yeah,
I take accountability for that time that
What I'm saying is this: is that. The magic of I think that women don't understand even the beauty of when you do that, because what it does for the man. See, a woman thinks, well, not all women. Let me just rephrase it. A woman may think to be accountable is something that she has to kind of like highlight and make like center stage herself, and then feel exposed, right? No, what it does is it's like I said, hold space. The way she did it was she allowed me just to communicate without her being triggered by whatever, right? I shared what I shared. She said, you know what? She saw herself in things. She identified it, and she said she corrected it. I apologize, and I'm gonna correct it. That allowed me to just remove the ego further, and her being accountable, and then say, you know what? I think I was an asshole this time. I was not on point. I can do this better. So she triggered this thing where she owned it, but then I also owned it too. And then so in that moment, our relationship took a different expansion. You see what I'm saying? It's not necessarily being an attack, like an attack situation where your holding space is making you feel, guilty because I'm focused. No, it's like, most men do not really open up like that. So you just allow, just saying certain things to kind of have him open up without him feeling like it's gonna feel like, has an agenda. Mm-hmm. I just think that it can open up a whole nother possibility for the man to show up for his woman in the relationship.
I think it's also like in any relationship, you have to choose. Are you choosing to date someone, like, are our egos dating?
Right.
Or are we going to be friends and do this? So I realize, like, a lot of times we're coming in with our armor, and our ego is wrapped in that armor because we're afraid based on past experiences.
Right.
If I've been hurt, if I've been crossed, if I've been lied to, if I've been vulnerable and then someone has thrown it back in my face, I'm going to approach most relationships with my armor on first. So it's at a place where like our straw men are kind of dating. Like our
representatives,
our avatars are dating or loving each other, and it's in a form of protection versus I'm choosing to remove all of that. I'm choosing to let go of all that and see you as my friend. I think a lot of times in my relationship with Orlando, like, hey, I don't necessarily have all the tools, but we've agreed to start and to be friends. And I think that has allowed me to remove armor and then really watch and observe where I want to put that shit on and be like, fuck you. I want to be like, turn my boots on, bitch. Are you crazy talking to me this way? You know what I mean? But like when you can start to remove the armor, remove the walls that we build, because a lot of it's for protection, but it's ego. Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget to approach each other just as homies and as humans. Yeah. I was just thinking about this time recently. We were in Bali and we were about to do a retreat, and I'm a friendly bitch. And I'm a fun chaser. I don't know if this is good or bad, but this is what it is. And it was like a couple nights before we started our retreat. We had been there a week, and it was Erica and I and my 3 other friends, and we met some black men at the restaurant, and they're from Louisiana. Big black men, but they seem cool. Right. And they're like, yeah, everybody. And they're with a girl, and they're like, it's my birthday. Come to our place. And I was like, let's go, guys. Let's go. And they're like, we don't know them. I was like, they seem harmless. They seem nice. They made it all the way to Bali. They're black men doing their thing. They're kind of our age or younger than us. So somehow I convinced 2 of my friends to go. And then I called Orlando, and I was like, we're going. We met some black guys. They're from Louisiana. They seem nice. It's his birthday. We're going to be around bitches for the next 2 weeks. We might as well just be around some masculine energy. And he was like, absolutely not. But we were already in the car. So I was like, listen, babe, I'm 37 years old. I've survived this long. You can trust me. We're just going to go hang out a little bit. There's a girl over there. I'll be in communication. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that this seems like a bad idea because there's nothing you could do. I'm in a foreign country. I weigh 98 pounds. I understand all those things, but I need you to trust me, and everything's going to be fine. So he was upset, and then my homegirl was like, I don't know why we're going. I was like, bitch, shut up. I was like, you're throwing me under the bus right now.
I was back at the hotel.
So we went. And Orlando was not that thrilled about my decision. Right. And I understood. I understood his concerns. Right. I understood. I voiced them. I said, I love you. I understand where you're coming from. I am already in the car. Right. I'll call you when I get back. I'm safe. I'll keep in contact. And we went. We sang happy birthday. We went skinny dipping. We played this chicken fight. I played truth or dare. I was bossing them around. I was like, I'm married. You do this. You do this. And then we danced a little bit. And then we left. We left like 2 hours later. And it was a great time. And I called him. We called him when we got home. And I was like, we're home. And we're fine. And we're fine. And he was like, you're so annoying, but okay. And he was okay. Right. And I think I realized in a lot of my past relationships, I would have got cursed out. I'd have been called a hoe. I'd have been called in a different country 400 times. There's a lot of things that I was used to, but in this relationship, I recognize that he can be my friend, and I can have these conversations. I can also see his perspective as a husband and as a protector, and he can also see me as a friend and a homegirl and be like, this bitch is a little crazy. I know she wants to go have fun. I'm gonna curse her out a little bit, but I'm going to release my control and allow it to happen. And then I call, and he's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm happy you had fun. It's 6 a.m. here. I'm going to work. Bye, bitch. And everything's fine, but there comes to a point where like I can actually talk to him as like my homie, and I can be honest. I'm not lying about it. I'm not in other places. I just would have not called. I've been like, I'm in the bed. Bye. Like, but there's a level and a sense of respect as a friend and a homie that we can meet in the middle. And like, because I've experienced him in that way, I know I can approach things, even things that are not ideal.
Can I ask a question with that?
Yes.
Meeting in the middle. How can you inspire your sisters to meet in the middle? Because I think that's that's what we're trying to figure out with this dynamic between the push-pull that men and women are experiencing. You know, your pain, my pain, your pain, my pain. How would you inspire someone in a union to try to get that?
I think it's about really choosing to have a friendship. Like removing the visceral want to like attack, the visceral want to dig your teeth in or sink your claws in and keep, or like just hold it on tight, or the things that we've generally been taught that are like the walls surrounding relationships or the rules surrounding relationships. I have to respect this person as an adult and as a human being and as an individual, and he has to respect me as an adult and as an individual and as a human being. And you're not going to do things that I fuck with all the time, but I know you and I trust you and I love you. And if you were my friend telling me the same information, I wouldn't react a certain way. But because I've been told that this, and this means this in a relationship, then I react a certain way immediately without even digesting the full scope of what's happening and recognizing that you're my friend and you are not trying to harm me or hurt me or lie to me. And then I can look at it from a different lens versus just as jealousy or you're going to fuck up or you're out to lie or do some fuck shit. It's like, just like he had to look at me and be like, this bitch is just trying to go have a good time. And she's
so the word respect comes out that you kept highlighting, so that's the respect. That's a glue.
Yeah, I think and basic respect.
Basic respect, and then friendship.
Friendship, I think, is on one of the highest things on a relationship totem pole that you have to, like how I would be with Erica or my homegirl, or you would be with your homeboy. Right. Are you going to operate in the same way with your woman? You know, and the same understanding or
the friendship and the respect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you affirm that?
Yeah. I would also say that 90% of people in relationships would say that they're friends with their partner, even if perhaps, I would say that most people are not going to be like, that's not my friend. You know what I mean? Especially if they're married, they're creating life together. They live under the same roof. So I think that like even hearing that, you know, that notion, like people would be like, yeah, that's me too. But then there is the removal of the ego, right. And then there is the removal of, I mean, obviously you and Orlando have a very specific partnership. Like not a lot of people might be able to be that honest and open and safe and or accepting of how the other person wants to show up. And I'm sure it's been a journey too. Like, especially like, would you say that Orlando giving you space to do that, if he like, could you have started that with him? Like, I'm just curious, like if he did the same thing that you did in Bali, right? But Orlando has shown you over and over again that can hold space for you in that way. If he hadn't, would you give him the same space? Do you know what I mean? Like, did he have to start that in order for it to be reciprocated?
I think I've definitely tested it, but I also think that I've been in relationships that were so starkly opposite and so containing that I was adamant about any relationship that I was going to be in. I was going to be just super honest. And that was my standard. And I think a lot of times women particularly don't start there because there's a lot of rhetoric around what it means to be a woman. And like, there's just a lot of ego wrapped in like what my woman does. But I think because I've had bad experiences and I've had trauma in that way, I was very adamant about this is who I am. This is how I move. And if you are not someone who can see yourself accepting it, this is not something that I'm going to accept. And I've tested it. So that and I'm probably tested a little too far just to see if he's gonna bust or like if it's true or if it's real. And he's proven over and over again that, you know, there's trust and love and respect. So there's no need to test it, you know. But I think that in the beginning, being blatantly honest was a part of it because I don't see a lot of men being able to handle that. And then also him showing me that, you know, he can. And then I have no choice but to show up in the same way that I'm requesting. And being woman enough to be like, damn, I don't love that, but damn, this is what it looks like to date myself. Okay, well, here we are. Very annoying.
Not to divert, but I realized we haven't asked you if you've made any bad choices this week.
Bad mom, not a bad mom, but a bad mom.
I guess it's not a diversion because to some that would be a really bad choice. You know, someone listening and be like, "Oh hell no."
Yeah, so I would say,
You know?
in the recent,
But the joy it brought me,
But I'm saying, but for you, it wasn't a bad choice.
But I knew he was upset, but the joy it brought me to call him when I got home and be like, we had a good time. And he'd be like, you're crazy. You know, like, okay, well, I'm happy. The joy it brought me to be able to have and communicate that
right.
choice, whether it be good or bad or different, and it could have been bad. I mean, you know, but in my intuition, I knew it was going to be fine, and it was a good time. It brings me so much joy to know that I have a relationship and a man that I can be completely honest with and say, we're going to be around bitches for 2 weeks. Let me just go be around some men for some black men. I don't know if we're going to see the black men in Bali, and then be like, whatever, girl, you need a lot of attention. But, you know, like, and we went back and forth a little bit, but the relief of I'm still loved, I'm still safe, and the relief for him to be like, I know I can still trust this person.
Right.
That is what every time is going to bring me like closer and closer to home.
Right.
Into a feeling of, oh, this is a genuine, honest relationship.
Well, yeah, trust. He trusted himself, and he trusted you.
Yeah.
Right. I think if he didn't trust himself, he can also portray that, you know, to you as well. You know. Speaking of that, I didn't stay on an affirmed boundary with some family. You know, usually I do. You know, my intuition was like, don't overextend, don't over communicate. And I did, and I just jumped out that, you know, left the intuition alone and went in it, and it was madness. You know? So, you know, just it was a reminder to respect that internal, the voice that keeps you squared away, and when you have that boundary with yourself or whatever those may be, fortify those. You know,
even with family,
you have, especially with family. Yeah, so that was my bad choice recently, that I didn't affirm the boundaries.
I think we can all relate to that in some capacity.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I wanted us to watch a clip together.
Yes.
That I think, as we're talking about just women and men and the rules and the egos and
the rules,
the supposed rules.
What the fuck are the rules?
I mean,
where are the rules? Where's the rule book?
I mean, they're on the internet.
Don't go by those rules, baby.
We can ask ChatGPT, just get a list.
ChatGPT.
I'm sure that it'll tell us. It'll gather all of the internet.
Who the fuck is asking ChatGPT for dating advice?
Everyone. A lot of people.
I think it's really strange.
I just had a
full conversation. Folks are having full confessionals with ChatGPT.
This is a problem.
I just had a call.
If we're more prone to talk to our robots than to each other.
That's a.
What the fuck is actually going on?
Yeah. That's a big issue.
I just had a call with a friend of mine who runs a nonprofit, and she, you know, works with a lot of young kids between the ages of like 17. And she was saying how a lot of her programs are kind of falling apart because they don't want to sit in and listen anymore because they can just go on ChatGPT and AI and ask and get the same.
Like they're getting therapized?
Yeah, either like they'll get relationship advice on ChatGPT or therapy advice on ChatGPT that they don't actually want to talk to a human because the machine is going to know exactly who they are, what they think, what they've been through, and then regurgitate some maybe not bullshit, because there is some good stuff there, but it's not from a human heart, you know. And so I was like, wow, shit is crazy. Okay, so this is a clip that went viral a few weeks ago with Cam Newton, our not favorite person in the world. I would love for him to come on the show because I would love for him to use all his big words that he says incorrectly. And maybe you probably need to talk to him. Low key. I would love to watch a conversation with you two.
I vote for.
I don't even want to do it.
SupaNova to go.
You could come
Cam
here
Newton.
and sit on this couch and we will facilitate it for you. I would love to watch that.
That would be great.
That would be so good.
Yes.
But anyway, he was talking to Sarah Fontenot, I think that's how you say her name, who also is an interesting woman with a lot of strong perspectives around femininity and how a woman is supposed to act in a relationship to attract a man and keep him, which I don't agree with a lot of the things she says. But anyway, doesn't matter. This is the clip.
Let's just be honest.
This is my question. Do you feel like women's value gets lowered
when they have multiple children by multiple men?
I just think that the reality of that answer is women's value get lower the more children that they have.
Break that down.
Because, and I was having this conversation, with one of the mother of my children, and she's still fine. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I was telling her, I was like, yo, the guy that you're dating or will date, if he ain't willing to love on these 5 children that you have, that ain't the guy for you. Because when I came into your life, I was willing to accept you and whatever you had. And there's guys that's out there that's just going to say, them ain't my kids. I want you. Well, that ain't how it worked. But that's not to say that she can't find nobody.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she has somebody.
Right. But do you feel like it's as the best that she could possibly do if she didn't have children?
Well, you're talking to a dude that was once in her life. I don't feel like she's going to get better than me. That's just my confidence.
I don't even think it's confidence. I have said, and I might get eaten alive, I don't think most women do better than the father of their children. No, I really don't think
like
that.
It's real love.
That's the barometer.
Like it's real love. Like I owe a service to them. I will forever be indebted to them because no matter how they make me feel, once I come back to, the ground of like, yo, that's still the mother of my children. It's one of those like family businesses type of situation. Like we can have our spats, but when we leave this door, you'll never necessarily know. And we know.
He was saying all types of stuff. like what stood out for you that you want to highlight? That because he said something and then he kind of contradicted what he was saying.
The whole thing is contradictory.
Yeah, because he said the value of the woman goes down with more kids, but then he
said the my baby mama with 5 kids.
Still fine.
So obviously you were the man who entertained the woman with kids.
But then he also said that a man.
No, those are his kids.
Not all of them.
No, but then he also said that a man should come into a woman's life and appreciate all that she comes with. So I was trying to figure out what was his main. It was controversial, but what was his main argument? Because he kept coming back to the dynamic between him and his baby's mother. So what did y'all get from what he was trying to say?
What I think that I get, if I'm translating man correctly, is that socially, in a society viewpoint, the more children a woman has, the less worthy or the less likely she is going to be
with a high value man
or pursued by a man. And that there are some men that will accept you with these children but may not really be all in with the children.
Okay.
And then you hear the woman say, I don't think blah, 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 blah. So I think overall the observation that I'm making is that, how deeply women are impacted by the patriarchy. And I think that men are operating in this standard of thinking that societally, if you have a lot of kids or a lot of baby daddies, no one's going to want you. But he himself proves that is not correct because he pursued this woman. And B, a lot of women prove that is not correct because lots of women remarry after having multiple baby daddies or multiple children, and there are stepdaddies galore. I got one right in the next room. So I think that it's mostly about especially for women listening to this show, because I know a lot of women are moms. Stop believing the bullshit. Stop believing the hype. Because society paints a picture or you hear some shit on the internet from a nigga in a hat, it doesn't, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. You choose what you adopt as the truth. You choose what you adopt as the standard. And I think me and Erica, we talk about this a lot when we started Good Moms. There was a sense of this overwhelm of like, I'm going to be a single black mom. Because there's an overwhelming amount of propaganda around being a single black mom. Not a single white mom so much, but specifically a single black mom because we're black, because the media, because of the things like there's a lot of things that make this a heavier, I guess, a different standard, it seems, perceived to be. So if you live your life in the perception of society, then that's what you'll get.
I think that, I mean, I would argue that, and I haven't looked at the comments, that a lot of the women were angry because they actually don't agree with this bullshit. And like, they actually don't agree that because they have multiple children that now they're deemed less valuable because perhaps they've proven that concept incorrect already because they have love in their life and you know, and I think also it's just funny about,
and there's probably a lot of men like, yeah, nobody wants a woman with a bunch of kids,
right, including my father who said that on our episode. And I think like, which is, you know, a mentality, a certain mentality of a certain age that has still spread like poison into men that are our age and younger still. And I think also, just to comment on what she said about your child's father being like the gold standard, I think it's interesting because this is the same woman who is always talking about how you can't speak on certain shit because you're not a fiance, or you can't speak.
Well, she just got a ring, girl.
But she's married now.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. But I'm just saying you can't. But I'm saying like, I hate the rhetoric around people that people use marriage and being chosen as protection as to now they're the expert and they can say this or that. Right. And if that's the truth, bitch, you're not a mom. So you don't fucking know anything about what it even feels like to have a relationship that is disappointing and you have a child with that person and then it ends and then you realize that person was not good to you and then you do find someone good. So how dare you sit there and tell mothers that their baby daddy who might have beat on them or whatever the fuck is the barometer or whatever the fuck word you said. And
assuming someone is not growing, right? So the assumption is that the
people
woman,
the
woman is stuck in time at that time when she could have been 18 when she had her baby's daddy, and then 20 years later, now she's 38,
a grown ass woman.
Prayerfully, she has grown mentally. She's more experiences. She's not in the same space energetically. So I just think that, see, it's when you're in war, right? One of the things you have to look at is the constant deception that you're being exposed to. Everything that you see in the headline is not, it may not necessarily be real. Like, so you have to actually scroll and look at things 2 or 3 times. It may be AI, it may be propaganda stuff. That's what's happening right? But that's what men and women, that's what we do online. Like, the war is so, because it's all pain. It's all pain. It's all our pain, right? And so when different people are in different positions to have a conversation, we have to always remember they're having the conversation from their perspective of their pain,
their own filter,
right? Now this thing, the reason why we're able to attract in conversation because we can relate. Even if I don't went through that, somebody I know went through that, so this intrigues me. Let me listen, right? But remember, it's the perspective of the pain, And I would tell the sisters that are listening to that comment who are mothers, you don't have to take that in.
Pick and choose.
You don't have to localize that pain body that you're being listened that you're taking in. You don't have to make that personalize that. You can leave it objectively, listen to that, disagree, but you don't have to weaponize that in your consciousness, because now if you weaponize it, when you do attract a man, you weaponize. You're ready to
worthy. I'm not worthy. You can't love me.
You're comparing something that you left for a reason,
right?
Because Sarah Fontenot said that your baby daddy is the fucking barometer, and I think that that's really dangerous. And I think it's also really dangerous to listen to some of these your idols on the internet who are literally saying things to stir you up, because I think that that's a lot of their platform. Their platform is designed to, and perhaps she really does believe in all the things she says, but some of them are so irresponsible for vulnerable people listening and watching that it pisses me off. And I'm thinking about too, like, this idea of like, parents or moms specifically like being lower in value. Because my dad, you mentioned that you watched or you saw the clip with me and my dad, and we had a great episode. And shout out to all the people that reached out to me. And I see all the comments of a lot of angry women in the clip around my dad saying he had this hatred for my mother. But he also said a lot of shit on that episode that really made me cringe hard. I was really struggled with whether or not I was like, I was like, I don't want to expose him like this. I'm glad I did, because whatever, that's what we do here. And he said what he said, but he was talking a lot about high value man. And we know where that comes from. We know where that specific term, I'm sure it was said long before Kevin Samuels came to be and left, but that word is associated with him. And so my dad kept saying, like, no high value man is going to want to date a woman with multiple children. No high value man. So I'm curious, as someone who leads men, do you subscribe to this concept of a high value man, or like this this hierarchy of what like a man is?
So I look at that from a different place, the high value man, right? Because most times when that's being sold to men by other men, it's more economics. Right, it's more about status and economics, right, and
Finance
and finance. It's more finance, social hierarchy, right? So you're below me, I'm the predator, I'm up here, right? So it's a lot of that, right? So holistically, when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about men doing the inner work, the child wound, right? Most of our relationships as men dealing with women specifically come from some level of the child wound. Whether it be abandonment, your had a mother that was actually helping you and loving you. She may have been a single mother, but she was not really there. I mean, you may have been a latchkey kid. You know what I'm saying? You had to do for yourself. All of that informs how he develops, right? So the coin flip when I talk about high value men is for men that your value is determined on the work that you do for yourself. And the work you're willing to do to inform how your mind is which state are you in? What are you willing to do to nourish yourself there? Where you at spiritually? Where you at physically? Are you moving your body, right? Okay, where are you economically? So all of these things work in tandem to inform your value onto yourself. Not from a place of that the war thing that we talked about earlier, the masculine feminine dynamic, and my high value is bigger than yours and better than yours. I feel that, listen, if the sister is doing the same thing, it's like a mirror effect. If you're pouring into yourself daily and checking your nervous system and holding that space for yourself, and I'm doing the same thing, that's the fellowship that I would like to be part of. You know what I'm saying? Where the man is doing the inner work, the woman is doing her inner work, and then together they can figure out what that looks like for each other. Right? It's not going to be perfect, right? But we're willing to do what? Expand, right? And so that's the lens that if that makes sense to y'all, that's what I look at when I talk about high value. It's more about going within, addressing some things and working on yourself to attain that for yourself, not from a place of domination and.
So does your definition of a high value man, and what, like, the woman that he chooses, if she's made a lot of bad choices,
okay,
but she's now working on herself,
right?
Does that mean that she is not now worthy of, because she has maybe she has 4 baby daddies, who knows, but she's doing the inner work,
right.
She's working, she's a great mom, she's takes care of her kids, and is a high value man who is maybe she's just at the beginning of her work. How does that relationship, what is the value then?
Okay, the value for that particular scenario, that's determined on both of y'all identifying how did we get here. Because see, if I am this status person and you are who you are, however we got there, that's the interest. It's not even about what I do and where you came from, right? You don't put the onus on how decisions you made or the things that I got. It has to be about how did we get here, right? It is, So if we're here now, I come from where you come from where you come from, and we have an interest. The thing to figure out is how can we build on this interest. If I get caught up in the ego, I got this and that, and I use that to dominate you, then the interest will go down in the connection between me and you. If you're not open to expand yourself and you're so hard on yourself because you came from what you came from and the choices you've made, and you don't see the blessing of the fact that you're here and now,
the present moment,
the present, then the value goes down. So it's where we place the attention once we have the attraction. Right? Now, we're going to have the noise in the comments. There's going to be people still talking one thing, women and men, right? We're talking about the men and women that regardless of where they come from, they're able to find that place with each other. That has to be protected. Okay, are we willing to protect this connection from our own bullshit, our own overthinking? You know, is this more valuable than what I think I know, or what you think you know? See that piece. See that's the thing. This is the thing with the magic between masculine and feminine. We know how to get it, all of us, but we don't know how to keep it in growth and development. Why? Because once we get it and we grow it, the other thing that we bought starts kicking in to mess up this. You follow me? So if we're willing to protect this, we have to check that.
Well, because if you're clear enough to say there's something that instinctively or intuitively brought me here, there's an attraction that we're here. A real, like a mature human being is not going to be like, well, what does your bank account look like, or how many who. At the end of the day, whoever you are attracted to in this very moment, everything that they've done up until that point has brought them to this moment.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who she slept with, the mistakes she made. I mean, obviously it matters. You can go down that road and those things, but are you here to judge and pick apart the places that the other person has been, or are you seeing the current result of who this person is now and who you're drawing attraction to, and respecting the evolved product of the journey?
Absolutely. Well, listen. It's either if it ain't a line, let it fly, right? Because okay, if the guy has all of these resources and he's in his alignment with this woman, if he knows who he is in that alignment, he's gonna see her. He's gonna see the value in her. It's not about none of all. See, a man that masters logistics, is you have to if you're coming from that world, you have to master logistics. So you just align her with some logistics. Get her squared away, right? She may not have that, but she has a whole other thing that can support that.
But if you have all the logistics and you have the bank account that reflects it, it doesn't necessarily always mean that you've done all the other work.
No. It doesn't.
So it has to go both ways.
Absolutely.
You can find a man who has a lot of money. He could be the biggest provider, or the bank account can reflect that. But if he doesn't value providing or being like, doesn't mean you have access to it.
Right.
Doesn't mean that he's like fully developed emotionally or in a mature manner. I think that we have to examine. This is the easiest way I could put it. Real niggas recognize real niggas.
We could just do
it's
that.
It's an African proverb, and it's like real niggas recognize real niggas,
and that's it. And so made a real always thrive. That's it. Like if it ain't your tribe, just let it fly. Like some people are just not necessarily aligned. You know, and it transcends that whole thing of I'm high value, you low value.
What you bring to the table.
Listen,
nigga, if it has to be itemized, then you don't get it. We don't get it.
So let me tell you something that a woman can bring to the table.
Please.
You want to know you want to know for a man for real what's greater than even good pussy. Because men love good pussy.
They do.
They do.
But what's better than some good pussy is some good peace. I can provide from here to there and everywhere. The pussy can be good. But if you gonna give me some good peace, praise the Lord.
Amen.
See, you know what I'm saying? A man can get pussy, right? You can get it, and the pussy may not be all qualitative, but you can get a lot of it. But when you get that good pussy, then you get that good piece.
That pussy.
Now that you can bring to the table.
Not Shut
Okay.
Pussy.
Say that again. Pronounce that.
I don't know. It's not.
Okay,
It's not rolling off the tongue.
Oh, you just said it. You just said it correct.
Pussy.
There we go. Okay.
Pussy.
Okay. So look.
Pussy.
So listen. I think men will appreciate that being brought to the table.
Pussy.
Right?
You hear that?
Can you bring that?
Bitch, can you bring some pussy?
Because you know what?
Okay.
There's a man listening right now. and you had that good pussy, and it was connected to a crazy bitch.
Right.
Crazy. And you went back for that good pussy multiple times. And each time,
listen,
I can already see the comments. The women are be like, "Where are you? You're not my piece, so how am I gonna be your piece? What about our piece?"
No, I'm saying bitches do it too. I've been dickmatized by the wrong dick, and I was going back, and I was like, "Bitch, you're nuts.
Right.
There's no good dick good enough for this."
Right. So what you know,
good.
and you see, like, look,
I just say like, women are like, yes, I agree with that. But then sometimes, like, niggas don't be deserving the piece.
Well, okay,
you know what I
But
mean?
if they don't deserve the piece, they don't deserve the pussy.
Yes. If
If I don't feel called to provide you peace, if I don't come and I'm like, you want a sandwich? You know, if I'm not trying to, if when we are in union,
right,
and we're not both experiencing the highest form of pleasure, orgasm together in a way that afterwards I genuinely felt so euphoric that I now am at a place of peace and I want to expand upon that peace. And
But are we talking about like emotional peace, not just like euphoric sex?
no, I'm saying that they are synonymous. I'm saying you can have good pussy or dick, and if the piece is not connected to it, eventually it expires if you are getting out of the realm of toxic participation.
There we go. So we get to a point, right, where men and women from wherever they may be, right, they just get to a point where they just want the better for themselves, right? They've been through the toxic relationships, they've been through the dynamics, and they just over it. You got women who just over it, and men are over it, right? And so when you get to that place, you rather be single and be in your peace than with someone that you're attracted to, that you have the dynamic with, and they just bring in so much chaos to you, you know, because you've worked to keep that peace in other areas. Like you're working to expand yourself emotionally, mentally, even economically. And so if someone is not in harmony, you know, let's say you're a woman and you're moguls, you're doing your thing. If your mates are not in harmony, even if you love them and committed to them, it can throw off the business and even how you work, right?
And
so
maybe we've experienced it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So there has to be some type of, for both. It's not like you say the women in the comments may say it. No, women should have their peace as well. You know
I'm just curious to know, so how does a woman bring peace to a man's life? I mean, I'm sure it's different I'm sure men have different things that they need, but generally, I think as women, sometimes we're confused. Like we think we're offering peace, but maybe we're not. Like what are ways in which we can offer men more peace?
Well, another thing is know the element you're working with, right? So I'm an air sign, right? I'm an Aquarian, but I know all my charts, but I'm telling you, I function in my top three.
What are your top three?
Which are your rising, your sun and moon. Like, yeah, I know all that, like the Mars and this and the that's cool.
What's your
but
top three?
What are your top three?
Is how I always show up. I'm an Aquarius, Gemini.
Oh my God, that's air.
Okay, right. Okay, so look, right. So I'm a Gemini moon, Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun, right?
Okay.
So when a woman deals with me, is if she understands how the elements work, the air, right? Okay, this dude is all air, right? So peace for him may to give that nigga space, right? He's triple air. Air. Space. Right? He's spacey. Right? He's a space cadet. Right? So now she already comes knowing, okay, this brother is...
So she's like, bye, nigga, I'm out.
Well, no, because...
Forever.
Right.
Call me when you're ready.
Well, okay, when the courageous woman appears, not the play, right? I got it. Everybody can't survive space.
Let them know.
Right? Space is dense. Space is the place. You may not survive it. But the ones that are courageous to step forward, I gave myself as an example, right? He's a triple air sign, and he has all these elements. Space. So if I give him his space to be, right, and I observe that without feeling that, because he has his space, whatever may come up for women in
taking
their
it
journey.
Personally.
Well, whatever they may come up, is he doing this? Is that not happening? You just transcend and say, I'm going to support him, give him space. That's a sense of peace. So now what happens is I know that you have that consideration for me, right? And my commitment to you and my interest in you is even more engaged.
Because you're providing something for me that
Right. So look, yeah. Now I may like to the whole men in the hierarchy with economics. Yeah, okay, I may have this and that money, all of that, but I don't have in that competitive realm, I'm not giving really that piece. I have to be in a different space, right? With you, man, this woman just considers the fact that I'm all over the place. She's not really tripping. Our time together is really powerful. And so it makes me make efforts okay, let's say she's a water sign. So now, wow, this water, really gives me that consideration. What's water? They flow, water flows smooth. It can get rough. Okay, she may be in her tsunami moment right now. Maybe not trip and judge her. Let her rise and let her fall until she gets back to her, right? So considering the elements you're dealing with, you may be a fire in dealing with earth, right? When y'all are hot and bad, you can burn up the earth, scorch the earth, right? The earth can overcome the fire. So finding out the elements you're dealing with, I think kind of takes us out of the traditional perspectives of the masculine and feminine and say, let me just deal with the elements. I only said that because it gets us out of the whole. It's like I have my hurt, you have your hurt, but now I'm perceiving you this way based upon my hurt, right?
Based upon these rules that I didn't even choose make up.
But if I look at it from an elemental perspective, what I'm doing, I'm giving grace for myself and you, because I'm like, okay, if you have two water signs, y'all can constantly drown each other because y'all are deep. But also, you say, wait a minute, we're two water signs. What is this attribute? We have depth. Right, so
didn't I tell you that earlier? I was like, sometimes I just want to play in the kiddie pool, but goddamn, I'm dating a Scorpio and I'm a Scorpio.
Right, but look, so the power between them is that they have depth, right? So that means no matter what they go through, they have such a depth to them. They can actually maneuver the water because they're already in the element of flowing. They just get, how sometimes I love like watching ocean things, and sometimes like the oxygen bubbles may come and it pockets and then it blows. That can look like for a water signs working together. The bubbles can get caught up in that perspective and realize, wait a minute, we're water. We can move all around this. We can actually let that go. We can, right? So I think remembering what is the anchor brings it back to the resonance of the relationship or the connection.
The connection, not just this basic blanket of masculine and feminine.
No. Because see, when we have done, the pain has scorched the principles. We no longer hold value in masculine and feminine. We have weaponized the masculine and feminine. We say divine just to keep us from losing our goddamn mind. Divine masculine, divine feminine.
A regular nice man.
Right. But for the most part, no. We have been in a war posture for so long, and some of us unfortunately have been in war posture since rape and molestation on both sides. We know the women unfortunately have been disrespected, but then the men never talk about it.
And so that
Right?
that festers.
And then some of the street brothers, that in and out of the penitentiary, they don't talk about their experiences, right? So all of this built up scorching weaponization in the pockets, in the heart pockets of our brothers. The rape and molestation and the disrespect of our women, that's so by the time we get to each other, we don't even need to, you know what, we may need to go on a talk fast. We don't need not to say nothing. We may just need to write notes and hug each other.
Just hug.
Let's hug. That's it.
Just hug. Just hold.
Is it time for a hug? Hug and a hold.
No
because
talking.
the talk that we have gotten so low in the relation of each other, where everything we say, we ready to pop off on each other. Everything, how we said it like this. We didn't say enough of it. And so we're so weaponized that that's why I said we need to take a tactical pause.
It's like we got to go back to basics.
The basics.
The elements, writing.
The elements.
Hugging.
Writing. Hugging.
Hugging.
Look, and hugging, right? And then ready? The holding. See, when you hold the hug, ooh, that's when it really And I'm not talking about the hug that leads into the other thing. I'm just saying like that. That when you the hug is like it meant you need it, but then the hold is like I understand. Let me say it's like the understand. I understand why you need this. I understand why I need this. And
Even if I don't understand, I'm going to provide something for you.
And I'm going to be here.
Regardless.
I'm going to be here.
I don't understand.
Well, I think it also, maybe you don't understand, but what we do understand, we're human. And then, like, as we have that heart-to-heart connection, all that other shit melts away.
It melts away.
It disarms.
Yeah.
It disarms.
As soon as you touch someone, even if you don't like, if you're not happy, or if I can literally feel the walls breaking down.
Come
on. Sometimes Orlando's like, we're in an argument. He's like, touch me. Come over here. And I'm like, he's like, I'll literally be like, what the fuck is this? And he'll be like, come here. And I can literally feel boom, 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 boom. As soon as I sit in it, the hold. Immediately I can feel my soul move closer to his. I can feel my heart. I can feel it touch. I can physically, because I'm in tune with my nervous system, in tune with my body, because I can identify shit as it comes up in my body because I've practiced it. When I am in opposition with someone, particularly my lover, and he holds me, I can feel my heart. I can feel the armor zip down. I can feel like the little girl in me be like, okay, fine.
Well, on Good Moms today, we're going to bring back the hug and hold.
The hug and hold.
The hug and hold.
Family. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters.
Not the rub and tug.
Let's get out these comments, get into your situation, and hug and hold. Like, for real. Like, and for those that are not in a relationship right now, right, and you're preparing one day to get into a relationship, know that you need that, and it's okay to have that. It's not you're not strange, you're not weird, because you need that. Because most of us have not been necessarily hugged and held for a long time, and maybe no time, because if you come from different family dynamics, families out here moving and shaking, right? Their love, like my grandma's love was she had a lot of properties, so she made sure that family, we had stuff. Like, okay, you can be here, you can be here, but she wasn't necessarily a hug and holding grandmother.
A lot of the older generation, especially of Black people. My dad tells me this all the time. He's like, the older generation wasn't verbally saying I love you often, and there wasn't a lot of physical touch. It was just the way. I don't know what was war, being Black. I don't know, but there's slavery. I mean, there's a lot of trauma that we're existing in that I don't think that we recognize how our parents have adopted it and how we've adopted it, and that's why love is so revolutionary. When you can really hug and hold and feel somebody. Yeah. At the end of the day, as humans, man or female. Yeah. We all just want to be loved, safe and loved, and chosen.
There were times in various relationships where I literally, when I felt the argument would come I'll stop, because Aquarius, we can detach anyway, right?
Real quick.
But what I did was right. I went into my quiet detachment space, and I immediately grabbed and breathed and centered.
Like grabbed yourself?
No, my partner.
Your lover, okay.
Yeah.
Because you can...
Because I could, I could detach, or I could just over-intellectualize it in the argument, and this is not helping me or her, right? So what I would be in practice of doing, if we would get into that space, instead of trying to over-intellectualize it to her or shut down, I would initiate it. And immediately, like you just described, with your husband, she just would... It was like the sync, like you were talking about the breathing. We just breathe together in the sync. We synced up.
Yeah, you sync up.
And we just let it go. And so when we finally emerged from the hug and hold, the way we spoke to each other, it was just heightened. It's like a, people talk a lot about the nervous system online, right? The nervous system. It was a nervous system rebooting, reset immediately. Yeah. And so we our pain bodies have conditioned us to immediately go to challenge and confrontation and war, because the masculine and feminine in these times have been weaponized. But you said love is revolutionary. It is. And if we could, in times where we normally would just buck up on our partners or be sarcastic or shut down, I would say reach for that hug and hold. Trust family. It would calibrate the energy.
Enough words.
And like, shout out to Orlando, all the healed signs and the airs and the Aquariuses, because on some real shit, I did not recognize, like I didn't recognize how much I needed that until I was experiencing a man that could do it.
Right.
I am not the one who initiated that. I would buck up because that is what I'm trained to do.
Right.
I'm trained to protect myself. But when you find a man, and a lot of times it doesn't have to be, but when it is the masculine that can pause and reframe and hold the feminine, because we can be, we're emotional. So when you can like hold it and protect it in a way to say, you're fine. You could chill out. Stop. You're safe. Orlando literally told me, where are you right now? Come back here. Or do you feel safe with me? Where are you? Come back here.
Yeah.
Like that basic statement, because I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
My mechanism is to leave my body. I'm done here. And when he said, hey, bitch, come back. Not hey, bitch, but that's our love language. Hey, bitch, come back. Like then I had to look at myself and I had to look at my pain mechanisms. I had to look at how I've protected myself. And I had to observe that this is not that.
Right.
And I think a lot of women, we've been so seldomly given the opportunity to experience a safe environment that it's very difficult to feel safe in doing that. So when you do find a man, or you have a man that can initiate those hug and holds and those moments where they can disarm you, you have to be, it's literally reprogramming yourself. And I'm 2 months married, but literally we've been in a relationship for 5 years, and it's still something I'm in practice in. It's still something like every time I want to go this way, I have to really, really actively try to put intention.
No. You said it. You didn't even try. You said it is a practice.
It is a practice.
Right. That how glorious it is to recognize that you have a practice with your husband. That sounds very elegant and professional. Right? No, a practice. A practice. That's a practice is what? Part of discipline. Right? So you do your discipline, you practice daily, you get more proficient at what you're focusing on. So when we treat our relationships as an extensions of our practice, that's what we saw earlier. I said, expand. Like we just have to figure out not leaving each other, but how do we expand?
And it's uncomfortable.
Right? Like we may abandon our partner in that moment of just feeling like we're not heard or we're not being felt. But how could we possibly expand that?
Reroute.
Reroute.
How do you reroute? I usually do this, but if I reroute this way,
right,
then I can maybe get to this other outcome, this other destination.
Yes.
If I choose to, hey Siri, reroute the destination.
Yeah, reroute me back to my practice.
Yes.
Come on. Yeah.
And you have to be committed to doing that. And a lot of times I'm like, oh, well, shit, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. I'm not. I have to ask. Sometimes in those moments where I want to go left and I need to go right, I say, bitch, are you leaving him? No, you ain't. How long are we going to drag this out?
Don't drag it out.
You know what I mean? And it's like, do you still love him? Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to fuck up. Humans, we are human. We are going to be imperfect. The person you love is going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's just the part of the programming. They are not going to do everything right. And the sooner you can realize this person is we're just humans attempting to learn how to love each other while we are learning how to love ourselves. A lot of us haven't even been given the platform to say, actually, I want to be loved like this. Actually, this is what I need. We're so busy being. Another thing is when you go to that defense system, you don't even find the tools to say, what do I need in this moment to be soothed? What am I actually asking for?
Right.
You don't even know. You're just fighting you're just throwing just to be protected. But actually, if you stop and you take a moment, it's like, actually, I need you to say this. Actually, I need you to what? But a lot of times we are fighting without cause. We don't even know exactly what it is that we're asking for.
I think some people don't know what they need.
Exactly. Well, because
they don't even know what they need to be soothed.
So wait, I invite you to hug and to hold.
Yeah.
And then to
Explore.
pause and ask yourself.
Ask
What am I requesting in this moment?
Right.
What do I need? And then request that. Because I think a lot of times we are arguing, not even knowing what we're asking for.
What y'all both said is the word no, right? So that's the equation, right? Most times we can come into each other's pathway not really being fully explored. We may have many experiences, but we may not really be fully explored in ourselves, right? So you may have a lot of experiences, but do you really know yourself? You just been moving and grooving. You got. I did this.
Filling it with space and people and things.
Right. And you can recite it and throw it back, but you ain't really know, right? Because you said
the why,
know, right? The why, right? So everything that you would like to know is within you, right? And I feel that in this moment, I want to give a grace to the listener to say, it's okay to journey to the dark spaces and places. You must return back to that space so you could present to your younger version self, that you got it right now, that you're not where you were, and it's okay. And this is for both men and women, because the more we can explore that as light beings, explore our own darkness, by the time we are able to interact with each other, we can be in an expansive place, like holding space to know that we're not trying to be perfect together, but we're figuring this thing out. We're working through, right? The more we could have that capacity to journey within ourselves, that unspoken space, when we see it in our partners, we won't be triggered. We won't be bothered.
Well, we'll know actually what the trigger is. This actually has nothing to do with you. This actually has to do with my dad, and that he left a lot, and now you're not choosing me, and I'm triggered by this because this is something that that's like replicating something that I've been through a long time ago.
And now that you have, in this moment, shared that with me, this insight has expanded me.
And now I can recognize where this is something that's going to move you differently than what I thought, and I can hold you and say, I'm never leaving you, and you don't have to worry about that.
And I can affirm to you that I will hold and confirm you as well.
Because we're agreeing to understand.
And I see you.
Yeah.
See?
And I love you.
And I love you.
And I love you.
And let's hug and hold.
No, hug and hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
Well,
Request.
I don't know if the hug and hold is in your book, but I would like to. It should be. You might need to add it at like a bonus page.
Yeah.
I want to know more about your book before we get out of here too, because I know that you are re-releasing the book with additional pages.
Yes. I've been blessed to with my mother, Queen of Four, we have expanded Man Heal Thyself, right? So I've wrote additional 160 pages for brothers to give them additional tools, basically around the principles of what we've been talking about today. Care for yourself, If you do not care for yourself, then you move careless, right? And then so you handle other people the way you move, right? So encouraging our men, our brothers to begin to make that exodus within themselves, and facing that wounded child and strengthening him up, hugging and holding his own accountability to self-correct, not necessarily projected to his women or his children or anybody outside, but really self-correct himself. That's the spirit of Man Heal Thyself. It's a call to be wellness warriors. I say, brothers, you want to fight for the best quality of your life, body, mind, and spirit. So you have to be a warrior for your own wellness, And we put that aside because we have to hustle. We have to get this and get that. But the moment that wellness or that health is compromised, everything attached to us is compromised, right? So we must first be warriors for our own wellness. Fight for the best quality of your life. And if you can show up for that version of yourself, right, no matter how it looks, no matter where you may be on your healing journey, but you show up for yourself like that, you can show up better in your relationships and how you show up for your children and your women and your work in the world.
And change your family cycles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious to know, because I think some of our young kings really need to read something like this, right?
Yeah.
Early, not post all the things. How, what age would you recommend someone to read your book? I'm just curious.
If you had a son, you would give it to them at what age?
Well, right, the way I expanded it, I have so much additional tools here that as soon as possible, just because you want him to be shaping the concept we have the concept in here called the supreme man of optimum wellness. So you have a young man that's 5, 8, 9, 10, and he sees that affirmation, supreme man of optimum wellness, right? Right.
I could just see him right now.
Right.
Supreme man of optimum.
Right. And so now he's like, hey, dad or mom, what do I have to do? Yeah, the concept, right? What do I have to do?
It sounds like a superpower.
And the superpower, the whole point of being a supreme man of optimum wellness is taking yourself daily through those accountability protocols to better yourself. Mm-hmm. That's it. And you do that over a matter of time, right? So a young man's observing that, and he's saying, wow, like that's a seed in him. Now, he may go through a whole nother life up until that point where he may be challenged. He may have to go through some low realms or some other stuff. I mean, my mother was Queen of Four, but I was in the streets, hard body. I had to go through that rites of passage, almost lost my life in that dynamic. And from that survival, I got aware of myself. Right. And knowing why I'm here and what the things I'm doing. So I started to value even the seeds that were planted for my mother. Right. Mm-hmm. So the same concept in Man Heal Thyself is it doesn't matter what stage from a young man, because the old man is still the young man. Mm-hmm. And a lot of problems that we see in the world is the older man living out the wound and the disappointment of the young man, right? So now I got the money, now I got the power, now I got the shine, right? So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay them back. They're gonna see me, right? So now your blessing becomes a dagger. Your blessing becomes something that is weaponized.
Right.
You can't even be peace in your blessing.
Damn.
You can't even say, "Wow, man, I thank the Most High, I thank the ancestors for getting me here." You can't wait to show. I can't wait to go back and stun on them. I can't wait to go show her. So now all you're doing now is you going on a weaponized tour on your blessing.
Damn.
Right? And so now, look, so if, God forbid, if you ever lose this blessing, you're going to really be jacked up now.
Really? Yeah.
Right? So it's really changing the concepts around abundance, around the responsibility of, like, we have the first chapter is called the family of unity and wealth, right? The family man of unity and wealth. So his whole thing is, I'm working on myself so I can be a better service for my family, right? The more I can figure out how to be effective within myself, I can bring these tenets to my children and to my women and support her and support my relatives and support.
And when you say support, is that financial or is that
it's how you show up?
Okay.
It's so we tend to men, unfortunately, in the material world has been relegated just to that. Man provide, man provision. And this is the whole thing about men doing his healing, right? Because the more you can know thyself, you heal yourself. Now you can actually show up in other versions of yourself to people that you have not even know that you have so much more to contribute. That there's so many more abundant men. Like there's a lot of men that women have had in their journey that you probably have not been able to fully be expressing their full selves because they've been only living from a certain version of themselves, and sometimes they may have been relegated to pain and hate or just misdirection, right? And so he has not been fully expressed. So if you get a man that is fully in his expression, no limitations, knowing who he is, his presence and his attention bring value extended beyond his provision, his material provision, right? Mm-hmm. But a man can't even understand that side of him besides being someone that provides if he doesn't really begin to do the inner work, right? And so that's what we want to encourage men. It's like your life doesn't end in provision, right? Provision is an attribute that is a powerful attribute, but there's so much more if you're open and willing and when you're ready to exploring your own self that you can bring not only to yourself but to others in your life.
Don't reduce men to solely like money.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of...
it's important. Obviously, we live in the 3D world. We're living in the world. But I think that, like you said, it's a product of just working on all of the things overall.
I think a lot of women have accepted men with very little. I think it's men actually that have the hardest time, and quote, I could be wrong, but like being able to feel fully, I guess, I don't even want to say masculine, but like in his full expression
Yeah.
if he doesn't have that financial piece figured out. Like it begins to trickle down and impact other ways because male equals provision. It's in the Bible, and that that idea has expanded as society and modern society has expanded, and our ideas of money and wealth of different. Capitalism have changed, but I see it a lot. I see it a lot with men that struggle, even the best of men that have struggled because that piece isn't figured out, and it starts to trickle down and affect other parts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, the concept is to be a holistic man, right? Body, mind, spirit. So, when you are your physical expression reflects your mental expression, reflects your spiritual expressions. When you can figure out how to balance those things and nourish those parts of you, everything expands, right? So there may be times, a man has times when he's up, he has times when he's down, right? So it's if you can figure out how to navigate that, that's when you become a powerful man, right? When you can figure out how to be resilient through your ups and downs. The thing is, when you are blessed and you have your material side, do not be unattentive to the other areas of yourself.
Don't let that be all
like
of
the arrogance of now I finally got here. What happens a lot of times with men is
I get off my devotion,
right,
off my practice.
We got right, but when we didn't have the material, we did everything devoted in ourselves so we could get that. So we did our prayers, we woke up, we did our fasting, we ate better, we did our physical fitness because we had a goal in mind. So we get and a lot of times those goals is material, to your point. We get the material goal and then you abandon everything else. But then you realize the blockages start popping up, right? Because it was all about you starting wherever you started to become whole.
The holistic
Version of yourself.
Right.
So that's the whole concept of man heal thyself, is for man beginning to reintegrate what a whole living looks like for himself and how he can show up for himself and his family. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. With that being said, do you have any affirmations to give to our audience today?
A lot of affirmations.
What's your favorite?
Might as well just go. I'll go here because we have some good ones that I think you. Okay, we're here. I just opened it up. Okay.
Yeah, the spirits tell us.
Yeah. Okay. So let's repeat after me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I am open to receive love and support from others, allowing myself to be vulnerable.
I am open to receiving love and support from others, allowing myself to be vulnerable.
I attract into my life positive and uplifting people who support my growth.
I attract into my life positive and uplifting people who support my growth.
I am connected to my inner wisdom.
I am connected to my inner wisdom.
And making decisions that align with my higher self.
And making decisions that align with my higher self.
I release any self-doubt.
I release any self-doubt.
And embrace my greatness.
And embrace my greatness.
And unlimited potential.
And unlimited potential.
I release any need for perfection.
I release any need for perfection.
And embrace myself.
And embrace myself
as a work in progress.
As a work in progress.
I am a divine being.
I am a divine being.
And my personal growth.
And my personal growth.
Transformation. Has a positive impact.
Has a positive impact.
On me and the world.
On me and the world.
Ashe.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
You always bring us to church.
Thank you.
Every time. Reverend Pastor SupaNova Slom.
There we go.
I appreciate that. I love when you come and talk that stuff.
Ashe, beloved.
Thank you.
Always good to talk to my sisters.
Let's pull a card now that we've cultivated and conjured all that energy. Yeah, just pick a card. And let's see what the cards say after today. You have the 8 of Cups.
8 of Cups. What's on there? Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen this one.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Oh, haven't seen that?
It looks the water, the night.
Nice.
Let's see the moon. Okay. When the 8 of Cups shows up in a tarot reading, you may feel compelled to walk away from a disappointing situation. It could mean turning your back on an unfulfilling relationship, job, career path, living arrangement, or creative project that once was a source of great happiness to you, but now only brings you pain. You have invested yourself emotionally, but despite your best efforts, are disappointed. It hasn't turned out the way you expected it to, and you realize that you are no longer getting anything out of the situation. Now, the only choice is to put it behind you and move on with your life, even if it brings you sadness as you say goodbye. The Eight of Cups suggests you sense that something is missing, particularly on an emotional or spiritual level. And instead of waiting around for things to get better, you know you need to leave that unfulfilling situation. It may not make sense to others because on the face it looks as if you have everything you've wished for. But deep down, you know it's not serving your highest good, and it's time for you to let it go and move on. It can be a sign that you're trying to escape a problematic emotional situation or avoiding some major psychological issues and concerns. It represents emotional issues that remain real and present in your life, yet you're trying to pretend as if they no longer exist, refusing to deal with them. You may repress your emotions or refuse to have the open conversation with others and what's happening, instead preferring to pretend as if everything is okay or avoiding the scene altogether.
Wow. Yeah, I think I was going through that the last 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, just certain relationships, just family. Like I said, family, man. Like some family members, just like I got clear. You know, it's almost like you have to go through some things for that clarity. You no matter how many years you know somebody, you know them, and then life goes bang, and then you're given that clarity, and you can never. It's like you can never return to what you
can't unsee it.
You can't unsee none of it, no matter what you do, right? So to that point of just really that coming to the awareness that last 3 weeks have been that's how I see my. Yeah.
And I think it kind of also speaks to like red flags in ways. I think a lot of times we know what those things are and we ignore them, and it's usually something in your gut, you know, and it doesn't have to be like a flaming red flag. Sometimes it's light red.
Right.
It's red all the same, but it's light red, it's pink. You know, but I think sometimes it's like, you know, and the universe be universing, and it will remind you every time.
Oh yeah.
You can try and go this way and it doesn't work, this way doesn't work, this way doesn't work. It's like you have to honor what is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's honoring yourself.
Yeah.
And honoring your intuition and what you know.
Yeah.
I really want to hear your Hori. I know we've been talking real deep, but I'm really trying to hear about SupaNova Slom, the Hori.
Oh Lord. It's
horror story
There's so much to share there, but let me. I will put it to. I will summarize it by sharing I was in a relationship many years ago with a young lady that was a very sexually expressed woman, very mature, sexually expressed.
She older than you, younger than you?
She was a little younger than me.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Not too much. And
how old are you?
I'm 49.
Okay.
Now, when I was with her, I consider myself already a freak, a super freak, but
level 10.
Not to be confused.
Not a regular freak. Super.
Well, I'm SupaNova. The guy
super freak. Can't be a regular freak. That's true.
But no.
Not just super in one place.
But she was like Gemini. She was a Gemini. She was like it's like a teacher becomes a student. Like literally, I didn't even understand the level, the maturity she had in her sexual expression. It's one thing to just be out. I think hoeing and wilding out is kind of fun. It has a kind of an innocence, wildness to it. But she was real mature in y'all
intentional with her sexuality.
Very intentional. Very intense.
She knew how to
utilize it. It wasn't aimless wholeness.
Okay, so there's some things I never experienced with any girlfriend before her. Like, so she'll just orchestrate stuff, right? I'm not even saying this out loud. I'm like, Lord. Okay, so she'll just orchestrate just things.
What kind of orchestration?
Like randomly, she'll be like. She's like, babe, you've been working hard, you've been running this and that, and I want to do something special for you. I was like, I had to always try to figure out if I'm ready for her special is. Man, one day, she just told me to come to her space, and she was like, just relax here. She said, I'm just gonna, put some jazz music on for you, and I'm gonna blindfold you. I said, are you okay with that? I said, yeah. I said, well, okay. What's happening? Just relax. And then she said she had like 4 girls just come in, bad too.
But you were blind. You saw them later.
No. Right then, she unblind me, and I saw them.
Uh-huh.
Because they were just felt these different hands rubbing on me.
Not
like,
Orlando.
They were rubbing on you.
Right, rubbing on me.
Oh, you're like,
right.
oh.
But then she took the thing off, and she said, baby, you've been out here. This is for you. And then she left.
Oh, she left. Wait,
and then left me with them.
Is this a test? 911. Code red.
Were you ready for her orchestration?
That was just one. That was one.
I want to know another one.
Wait.
But so she left me with them, and it did what it did. Then she finally came back.
How long after?
Maybe a couple hours.
Okay.
Right? And then she just rubbing on me, and I'm kind of feeling a little weird because I'm like, is this really happening? Is this really happening? She said, baby, you just want to make sure I'm just checking in on you. Are you okay? How was your experience? Tell me about it. Blew my mind.
I love it.
Never had what kind of alien technology is
this.
this?
I might have to
right?
take a page out of her book.
Another time, for one of my birthdays, she took me to some like eyes wide shut type mansion type stuff.
Okay.
Right? Place. And I was like, this feels like some eyes wide shut. I was kind of like, I was all dressed. They told me dressed up. I had my little suit on and all of that. And I was like, the folks had the mask and shit. I was like, what the hell is this place? But it was some high end sexy. It wasn't seedy. It was real high end, and it wasn't no secret society vibe. But you could tell it had that lore. But it was just some.
It was exclusive.
Exclusive.
Is this in New York?
In New York.
Oh, this sounds very New York.
Yeah, very New York, right? So it's like this lounge area. Now this is how the whole thing planned for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? They sharing champagne. It was a bunch of like couples. I said, this is like a couple type of place. I was kind of couples here. She's like, yeah, and everybody's nice, couples to kick it and stuff like that. Dope bar. I wasn't thinking nothing was, nothing of it. I said, this is awesome fly couple shit. Everyone grown and sexy, right?
Everyone has their clothes on still.
Right. But some people walking around with masks and stuff, but they will walk past us because like in a lounge bar area, which is sexy. I thought this was it. It was a curtain, a black curtain. And every so often I would just see people with the mask just kind of disappear into the curtain and come back, and then I started seeing, folks with robes and stuff. I said, what the hell is going on? I'm drinking my champagne, but I'm like, what the hell is going on over there? Everybody's we talking and laughing and stuff. And then she whispered, she said, baby, you ready? I said, ready for what? She said, you ready? I'm going to take you somewhere. I said, you going to take me where? She's going to take you right there. You going to take me to the black curtains?
Oh, my God.
OMG. She grabbed my hand. She walked me, and I opened the black curtain.
And
everybody. I didn't even know there was many people. I didn't even know there were that many people in there. It was just a lot of bodies bodying. It was interesting because the way the acoustics was, you didn't even hear them. But the moment you opened the curtain, you heard everything.
Damn.
It was ill. You heard the moans and the screams. And so I'm just standing there, clothed and shit, with my suit on.
Champagne.
With my champagne in my suit. And everybody's and this, she's like, oh yeah, this is a couple. She started bringing this as some special exclusive couples thing. And that was my first time going to some wild exclusive
sex party.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is a good story.
I think that was
right?
great. I like her.
Did you play?
I like her style.
Yes.
Because why not? It's your
She and I
motherfucking
played. It
birthday.
was my birthday.
It was a gift.
I with my girl.
Well, how many times you gonna go to the Eyes Wide Shut party?
I mean,
Dang,
Lord,
why didn't it work out? Where's she at now?
She's married.
Oh wow!
Somebody locked that down.
What a blessed husband.
You know, and I salute them. They're doing really well. Yeah,
Oh,
They
wow.
are. Oh, that's good. You guys are still cool.
Yeah, we were cool. We cool.
I mean, and I, this is a good story because I think men sometimes are afraid of the enchantress and the sexual energy of the woman, but that is what we're supposed to do. That is like literally, we are life force. We bring children.
Yeah,
earthside.
I had to get out the way. Like I couldn't, because I think on the other side of, like I said, me being a super freak at that time, it's something that the signal that I wore, right? So I was that.
You gonna out super freak me?
Right. So when you get a woman that is in her embodiment, it allows the man to fully just allow her to be, just let her be that. You know what I mean? And then now you hold space for her being that, right? Don't go with your ego and what you've been through and try to put that on her.
It's gonna dim it or project negativity.
Or have her closed down, and she's not gonna share that side with you.
Right.
Because it may be men may be with women that are very much expressive like that, but depending upon the safety of the relationship, she may be loving him, but the safety relationship maybe have not opened her up to really take him to that place. So yeah,
making women safe lets the freaks out.
I need to find a crew.
When you make a woman feel safe, she will let the freak flag fly.
I would totally agree.
Men, if you respect women and you don't be on that internet shit, and you let them be safe in their holistic embodiment.
That's right.
I guarantee you, it unlocks freak levels.
Wow.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I agree. I'm jealous because I'm like sitting here really thinking about this.
Why are you jealous?
Because I'm like. Because I could that would bring me a lot of joy just because I'm a voyeur and I enjoy watching my partner experience pleasure, and so I'm like, wow, that sounds great. Then I'm like, where does she source these bitches from?
Where does she go?
Where
does she go to lunch?
Where does she find women that are going to be like, yeah, no problem, be there?
Her homegirls,
right? No, it's interesting because are
my homegirls gonna fuck my man? Like that's what I'm saying.
No.
I was thinking.
So it's a
I'm happy you were thinking this because I was like, I would never do it.
No. So it's a network, right? So what I mean by this is that women like her that she let me experience, women like her, it's a network of women that embody like her, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
so
guess
necessarily not her besties. Like so I was never with her besties, right?
Yeah,
so
no, not her besties.
Basically,
Right.
I need to go make more friends at the sex parties.
You need to have more embodied friends
so that I can. Well, I don't really know if I want my friends to fuck my man, but I do want to.
Well, not your friends, your associates.
Yeah, I need associates.
Right.
Distance friends.
So she. I'm like, again, I wasn't aware of that world. She. See, as a man, I had to trust that it's okay for my woman to expose me to that side of the freak that I wasn't necessarily exposed to. Right?
How did you feel about her after that experience? I want to know.
Well,
because I think women. Because I would be triggered. I'd be gone for 12 minutes. And
how did I feel about her?
Yeah, how'd you? Yeah, overall, were you like, oh my god, that was so that was I'm forever indebted to you. I think that
me and her, we went at it after that. I mean,
I don't think any man would not like.
We and her.
That, right?
No.
Men
I'm telling
do the
like,
wrong
judge
thing.
you?
No, not
No.
judge you, but they get sneaky.
So sometimes that's what I'm saying. In any relationship, you have to have a place of expansion to really get to know each other, right? Because if your woman is, if a man's holding space and this woman's, felt safe to show these dynamics, then he's going to learn so much more because she's now going to take him to places he's never been, right? Vice versa, right? So I think both feeling safe to really bring that there. I think at the time when before I got with her, I was single and I was wilding out, right? And then I kind of was like, man, I was wilding out so much, had so much options, just having so much fun, where it was boring. And it wasn't boring because it was boring. It was more like I kind of wanted my person, because I had too many persons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I kind of want my person.
I want to do this with my person. Now,
right. Yeah. And so I was beginning to open that up. What would that look like? Who would that be attracting to get that? Like, what type of... So I
manifested that.
I really manifested her. But she was even more iller than me as far as how she would just show up. But her showing up confident in her alpha woman self, I didn't, as an alpha man, I didn't have to compete with that. I just allowed her to be. And because of that, I trusted she exposed me to so much different things that I didn't experience before, you know? But I was going to say, after the chicks left, yeah, me and her, you know, we had passionate love and we did our thing. And it just, our dynamic at the time when we were partners, because she was into this being voyeur and trying things and doing things. So it was just I didn't have to do it with a lot of, like, I was spreading myself out all over the place a little bit, but then with her, I can be focused. Me
and still
her,
have that same
still have the
experience
right.
of expanding pleasure
yes.
and exploring and the freedom without it being so.
Right. She made that kink that I had at the time. She made it safe for me to have it because that's who she was. Right. But I had to first, in myself, like I said, the man first had to identify yourself, had to find out where you at in your life and your development. So I had to check in myself. And because I was being honest with myself and I kind of slowed down from being a little wild, I slowed down enough to attract someone that was in alignment. Right?
In all the ways.
Because I was moving, when you move like this, you can't even attract what you really...
You didn't have to sacrifice one thing for another.
No, I said, you know what?
In.
Yeah, that's a little noisy. Let me kind of calm that down. So I was able to calm down from the noise a little bit, reflect. And that reflection, I was able to attract a partner at the time that matched it up and kind of outmatched me. And so most of my wildest experiences that I've never really experienced before in that dynamic came from her. She was the one setting it up, right?
Wow.
She did it. She was like, let's just do this, let's do that. Boom. I was like, whoa.
Which is beautiful because I think a lot of men think that when you settle down or get a relationship that you have to like hoe on the side to have certain experiences. Like there's this weird idea is like you wife the girl, but you fuck the hoes. But you can wife the hoe and have a monogamous relationship and like still have expansive sex and exploration within the unit and within the union. And you don't have to sacrifice your sexual exploration just because you're honing down on one individual.
Neither one has to. So the interview continues into the union. See, the interview has to continue. Like the dating I have to continue to date you in the dynamic of this new shit, right? So let's say me and you have been dating. In order to really open it up, I have to date within dating you, right? Because now that's the freshness and the hoism. Both have that. Both men and women have that in them. What happens is that it clarifies itself the longer you go into the union. Right. So you say, okay, this is our norm. But you can what I learned from her was that you can create whatever you want with your partner.
Right. No, yeah.
Right? You can your starting point can be your starting point, but now that you're here, you don't have to erase your starting point or feel bad about it. You can say, yeah, you know what? I want to share this side of myself with you. Are you ready for boom, 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 boom? Like, so shorty, right? Initially, I knew she was freaking like me, but I didn't know what to the extent. So she would but what I did was I made it safe for her just to constantly show up, right? And more I made it safe for her, the more she revealed another layer. And I didn't judge it. I celebrated it. I was like, this is kind of wild. I love this, right? So I kept getting her, I was like her cheerleader of her peeling back her own onion.
Yes.
You know, and as a result, as her man, she did random without me warning. Like when she set that up with the 4 chicks, I wasn't even thinking about no 4 chicks.
You know? I mean, why would you be?
No, I like she was one of those girlfriends that I was so enamored with. You know what I mean?
No, you weren't even concerned about that.
We can go and do our voyeur thing together without even touching nobody. Just kind of appreciating stuff. So she would just do these random epic things that any epic man that loves women would love to experience, right? But when your woman blesses it, that's a whole nother
different level.
It really is. Because
the blessing...
because what happens
the permission
was, what was doper than the 4 baddies was who she was. I said, wait, who is you? You know what I'm saying? Because
I never seen no shit like this before.
You brought that to me, and then you come back and check on me. How you doing? How am I doing? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like it made me really. That's why I said to this day I respect. Like I slew her partner. Man, I respect her because it was like the audacity to be your true self. You know, allowed me to expand in my own relationship with her.
Right. And you to be your true self.
And allowed me to be my true self, you know. And it made me she was so freaky, it made me be conservative.
I knew this story was going to be worth it. I knew I needed to hear this side of SupaNova Slom.
I'm inspired. I want to be more like her. Just DM associate. DM me associate if you want to get on the audition list to be an associate. I'm looking for a stable of safe women.
That is stable of safe women.
I need about 4 women who are not my friends, but could be my friends.
Could be.
To bless my man. Anyway, DM me associate.
In the email subject line, just put associate.
Associate.
If you'd add a
Watch
photo,
Erica.
a couple things about yourself.
My Instagram's at Watch Erica.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
They're coming. They're going to come. They're going to come.
Well, I mean, now all the enchantresses are going to come for you.
The enchantress. Listen, I tell the enchantress as they come, listen, I am committed to my life path. Right? So when I locked into my commitment to my life path, it's easier to deal with women because now the women become a compliment. Mm-hmm. Like I can compliment to what she's doing, she compliment to what I'm doing. The problem with men who are visionaries, sometimes we get guilt with being with dynamic women because we feel we have to give up the life path in order to deal with the dynamic woman. Mm-hmm. You know, no, I think that the more you commit to your life path and that becomes the focus, then the women that you attract, you know, they come to you on that resonance. They understand, you know, and then therefore you could compliment where she's at. It doesn't have to be. Like our life paths that shouldn't distract us. Our partnership should
add.
Well, I think it's important for your partner, whoever she is, to be very clear about her own life path, right?
Yeah.
Because you need space, according to the elements.
Because
this man needs space, ladies. Okay, don't be coming trying to be needy over here with SupaNova.
It won't work.
And now I'm over here thinking about my man's top 3 and elements and how he's actually a Gemini moon as well.
Oh,
and Cancer rising and Scorpio sun like me.
He's a Cancer rising? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Wow. Okay, yeah, man.
And he is a lone wolf. He likes to be. He also is a man of space. He's totally fine, and I am too. But him even more so.
Yeah. So what the reading I have for both of y'all is expand. That's it. Y'all are problem solvers naturally just because of the dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because there's a side like let's say if there's the bump inside, that's one of the twins. When the twins, the Geminis align, that's the power of the Gemini. Like not necessarily the fact that they're twins when they actually operate as one. So sometimes you may be dealing with the duality in that.
And he's dealing with the fire because I'm Sag.
Right. So he has to figure out. Right. Yeah, so one twin may be confident in dealing with you. And the other twin is kind of like, oh my God, how do I deal with this element? You know. So him understanding to have that transference for him to okay, you know what? Let me back up and allow her to just, and then you allowing him to be expressive to you, long-windedly, and be okay, you know, and be okay.
I'd be okay. It's just don't ask me a question about a question you asked at the beginning of the 15-minute thing and expect me to remember. You've already talked about 22 other things.
She smokes a lot of weed.
I'm high. My frontal lobe might be a little bit disintegrated, y'all.
She smokes
from
a lot
all
of
the
weed.
I told you
Baby
from
can't
the
remember.
alcohol of my teens.
You need to write notes. You need to write
I
down
literally
notes.
So maybe that's
wait.
it.
I tried
You
to do
need to
that
write
one
notes.
time, and I think it made him mad because he thought I was being facetious, and I wasn't.
okay,
I was
right.
like, nigga, I need to write
No,
notes.
yeah,
This
notes
is
are-
like this
you
is
should.
like I'm in law. I don't want to. It's not like a great debate. I definitely don't want that. But sometimes I really do feel like I need to write. I have noticed how I just feel more prepared in general in every way if I can write something down first or notes first or listen and take notes, because I actually did that today in a meeting. I was like, you know what, let me take notes here because I'm going to need to come back to this.
Right.
And historically, I be forgetting shit.
Oh my God, yes.
So I think we should normalize having a pen and pad out during important conversations with
agree.
your lover,
Yeah.
because that's actually, you do it in a business meeting, but very sparingly have you ever done it in relation with the most important relationships.
I think that'd be dope.
Because sometimes you get so fixated on the last thing said that you forgot what he said at the beginning.
Right.
That actually makes the last thing not so bad.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So anyway.
No, well,
Thank
okay,
you.
well, that's something we could take, family, right? Well, we got another one on Good Moms. Notes. Let's become great note takers for each other.
Even if you have to physically write them down.
Hug and hold. Take notes.
Hug and hold. Take notes. Come on, we have some good stuff.
Ask yourself, what is it that you need?
Ask yourself, what is it that you need? Yeah. Oh, don't be scared to go within and look in those dark spaces.
Those dark spaces.
Dark spaces. Yes. And don't be afraid of the freaks.
No. Unlock.
Embrace the freaks.
And DM me associate.
Most importantly,
I might not answer everyone. I'm sorry.
Email.
I am very particular.
Did you do a type form?
Actually, it's not me because I'm not even going to be there. Oh yeah, it's not even about me. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, can you imagine?
It could be though if I feel a little frisky. If I feel a little.
If you come back early,
that day.
She wants to join it.
If your lunch ends early, got it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Literally, I love having you here.
Oh, so it was a blessing talking to y'all.
When is your book coming out?
Oh, the book is released on sale 6/9/26. So June
69, baby.
369.
69. Oh God, the kids.
June 9th. It would be. It's available right now for the pre-sale now. But yes, it's out through Random House. We here, man. Heal Thyself. Wellness Warriors Journey to Self-Mastery.
I like the new cover.
Yeah.
Y'all get your partner this book. Get your brother this book. Get your father. This is a great gift. No matter, you don't have to wait till Christmas. Just surprise a man and let them know you're thinking of them. And get them this book because more men need spaces like this and you hold beautiful in-person space, right? Too for men absolutely. As well.
Online and in person.
And online and in person. And you'd be surprised how available the men in your life might be for something like this. So absolutely. And where can the people find you?
Oh, you can find me online. I'm on all handles. SupaNova Slom, SupaNova Slom, SupaNova Slom, across all handles,
all platforms.
There we go. Yes, family.
Great. And we'll put all that in the episode description. Make sure you go and rate and review this episode if you haven't on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on our YouTube channel if you want to look at us while we talk. And make sure you check out the Good Vibe Retreat. That's at the Good Vibe Retreat, or go to goodmomsbadchoices.com and just check out all the offerings. We have a lot of beautiful offerings on our website, including merch. Our merch is really cute. We have Canna Mom merch. We got Auntie merch. We got merch for the kids.
Black Mom merch.
Yeah, and we've designed it all ourselves. And, we're kind of fly, so we kind of know what we're doing over there. Actually, I showed the guy who was denying eye staring at the bar, our merch. And he was like, this is tight.
Thank you, man, who refused to stare at the other man's eyes at the bar.
I was like, yeah, it is tight.
I haven't heard tight in a long time.
Neither had I. That's why I didn't forget it. I was like,
bring it back.
When you bring tight back, that's
bring
tight.
It back. That's tight.
But you can go on our website and check out our merch. You can join our Patreon, which is really our community where people really we connect with you guys directly, and that's really where our tribe is talking. All the women, all the moms, and the men too are over there too, talking real time all fucking day long. So if you need some advice questions, you can throw them in there. If you need
opinions on your nudes, we're over there doing that too. Sometimes women need to show somebody the nudes. If there's no one eligible, show them to your girls.
And that's a private channel just for the ladies. So that's our Titty Tuesday. Actually, it's not called Titty Tuesday. Maybe I should rename the channel. It's called Yoni XXX.
There's a couple things. There's Hories. There's a bunch of shit.
So you can join Patreon through there, or go to patreon.com/goodmomsbadchoices, and then check out our retreats. And we have a Mommy and Me retreat coming up in July too. That is maybe sold out by the time this episode comes up, because we're pretty close to being sold out, which I'm really excited about. Make sure you follow me at Watch Erica DM Associate.
And me, Mila _map with 2 P's. Remember, this kind of reminds me of that time in Atlanta.
Except I'm in charge of my own.
Okay, that wasn't a good idea. We've gone some bad ways in person with this. The word was unicorn, not associates.
And I didn't tell anybody to do it. She did.
Oh,
it.
bitch! You're not gonna keep. You participated. Okay, I know that I started it. You finished it. Okay, you're not gonna keep blaming me. It was a little traumatic, but here we are to do it again. Associates. Bye, you guys. Love you.
Bye.
I'm living so good, can't you tell? I went through a drought, that's until I found a well. Made my heaven on earth, I used to be broke as hell. Now I got the blues dancing like Beyonce Giselle. Throat chakra popping, it's power in our voices. Patriarchy kept it in the box to exploit us. Women put the P in power, so it's pointless. They want me to be good, so I made bad